What is up YouTube? My name is Spencer and today I'll be showing you how to make my homemade burrito bowls. A quick, easy, low-cost meal that'll last you about 5 or 6 servings. So let's do a quick overview of the ingredients you'll need for this recipe. First and foremost, you'll need 1.5 pounds of diced beef. Secondly, you'll need half a cup of long-grained white rice. You'll need a can of chili pinto beans. And that's it as far as what needs to be cooked. And as far as the toppings, we have shredded cheese, seasoned taco blend if possible. Then we have daisy sour cream, a bag of cilantro, and then for extra flavor, I recommend a Chipotle sauce. This is the McCormick brand, but you can also use the Hidden Valley's brand. They have a secret taco sauce that tastes pretty much exactly the same. And then an optional ingredient is a tomato. You could also do avocado, but low-key avocados are kind of expensive right now, so I recommend a tomato instead. And then as far as the cookware you'll need for this meal, you'll just need a standard frying pan. That's for the ground beef. And you'll need 2 pots, one for the beans, doesn't need to have a lid. And then you'll need a second pot for the rice, which does need to have a lid. All right, kicking things straight off here, we're going to prepare the rice first, since it takes the longest to cook. So first we're going to go ahead and measure out half a cup of rice using our measuring cup. It may not seem like much, but trust me, it expands. Go. Perfect, half a cup. So I'll go ahead and pour this into our pot. I recommend pouring in the rice first and the water second. That way you get out any loose grains of rice that are stuck to the cup. So we're gonna measure out about 1.25 cups here. For this particular blend of rice, you need 1.33 cup of water to match the half a cup of rice. So I'm gonna measure that to the best of our ability here. 1.25 cups, looks about right. Pour that in. Turn on the burner. Give that a quick mix to distribute it more evenly. All right, and then once that comes to a boil, we're going to place the lid on top of it and wait about 16 or 17 minutes. All right, then the next step is going to be to cook our diced beef. Again, we're using 1.5 pounds here. You could do more or less depending on how many servings you would like, but just make sure to adjust the rice accordingly. We'll be using a full can of beans later as well. So we're gonna go ahead and turn on the burner for this particular one and just start distributing the beef around the fry pan. One other thing we're going to need that I didn't mention in the first clip is some vegetable oil. Don't recommend using too much, just to limit the amount of grease into the beef mixture here. Although if you do end up using more than you would like to consume, then I'd recommend using a strainer on the beef once it's fully cooked. But in general, we're not going to use too much here, just enough to get some lubrication going between the beef and the fry pan. So we'll start with that, start mixing it up here, and then we'll report back in about 5 minutes to see how well this is cooked. Alright, so it looks like the rice has come to a boil. So we went ahead and reduced the heat to medium. Again, we're going to wait about 16 to 17 minutes till that is done. That's what I found. I prefer my rice to be a bit softer. Better to have it be a little more soft rather than hard. So 16 to 17 minutes is about what I found is right for me. So we're just continuing to distribute the diced beef here. May apply more vegetable oil if necessary, but I think we got a good fry pan here. So yeah, I think I'm probably just gonna time lapse this part, and I'll report back at the end. All right, the ground beef has been cooked, and now we are going to continue to our next cooking step, which is the can of beans. So we're gonna go ahead and open a can of beans here. I prefer the S&W brand, but any other comparable brand would be just fine. This, to me, is what provides the majority of the flavor to the mixture. And of course, you could use a taco blend on your diced beef as well. I just prefer the taste of cooked beef as is, so I don't necessarily apply taco seasoning to my beef, but I do have some of the seasoning from the shredded cheese included in that as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour the beans into here. You may need a spoon to get some of this out. And then we're going to go ahead and just swap out the diced beef we have on this burner. Give this a quick mix, and this takes the least amount of effort to cook, so this is why we save it for last. At this point in time, we still have about, I don't know, 8 minutes left on the rice, and then once that rice is done, we'll have to let it sit for 5 minutes to thicken as well. So not too much going on here. I would just cook these beans on medium, 5 or 6 depending on your oven setting, and yeah. Gonna wait for that, and in the meantime we'll get the toppings ready for the final assembly. All right, the rice is now done, and we went ahead and drained the grease from the diced beef. So we're just gonna go ahead and transfer the beef from the colander back to the pan. There we go. Scrape out any remaining bits of diced beef. Okay, that's good to go. Now we're going to begin the serving. So these lids are typically very hot, so we're going to use a towel to remove it. And look at all that steam coming out. Okay, so there's really no exact science to this. We don't have like specific proportions or anything. But typically I'll serve the diced beef as the base, and then just build on from there. And again, like I said, this can last 5 or 6 meals, which if done right, you can make that last 3 days. So really great meal prep option if you're trying to save money. Okay, so we got the beef served. We'll do the beans next. Maybe a couple scoops of this. Perfect, all right. Then for the rice, also I'm not really worried about using the same serving spoon. I mean, it's all gonna be mixed in together anyway. The rice came out perfect, honestly. Do a couple scoops of that, good. All right, and now we're going to start applying the toppings. We have our seasoned taco blend. We'll layer over the rice first. The heat from the mixture will likely melt this cheese pretty quickly. And of course, if you're reheating after the fact, the microwave will help melt it as well. So we got the cheese. And then the sour cream we'll do next. Drain that out real quick. A couple of scoops of sour cream in there. Perfect, all right. And then we're gonna apply our Chipotle sauce. Not too much, but enough to cover the areas that the sour cream is not. There we go. And last but not least, the cilantro. So I'll probably end up sparing my viewers here from my embarrassing cilantro cutting skills. I know there's a method to do this with a knife, but I just pick them off. As long as you have washed hands, nobody will know. So we're just gonna finish doing that real quick. Might do a quick time lapse here. All right, we got our cilantro, and now we're just gonna give the bowl a quick mix. You can use a serving spoon, or you could just use a fork. In fact, I'm starting to think a fork might be a better option for this. There we go. And there you have it. A very colorful dish, I must say. And there we have it, a homemade burrito bowl that rivals the likes of Chipotle. Not really, but it can be made at a fraction of the cost. I haven't done the exact math on it, but I estimate each bowl probably comes out to less than $2, $1.50. Especially because a lot of the ingredients are multi-use, like the sour cream, the cheese, the cilantro, the rice. Really the only things that need to be bought each time is the ground beef and the beans. So realistically, you're only spending like approximately like $8 or $9 for the ground beef and beans each time. Lasts you 5 or 6 meals. Pretty good value. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you found value in this, and I will see you next time.